audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur.
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the fall!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Stanley pour les Canadiens, le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup.
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Vida Tibi. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, the Sick Podcast on this Monday, September 9. Hope you're all doing well. How's everyone doing? Watching on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. And the Sick Podcast is brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group. Energy Transportation Group, once again, is a leading full-service logistics provider serving all of North America. They are driven to be different. Also brought to you in part by Bittt at Tibi. They launched their new Ultra Lager, a refreshing thirst-quenching beer. Perfect for the hot summer days. Only 90 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 4% ABV per can. Available in pack of 6 and 12 in grocery stores all around the province of Quebec. It's ultra light and ultra refreshing. Also brought to you in part by Playground. If you're looking for the ultimate entertainment experience, Playground has it all. Gaming, poker, fine dining, live music, and DJs, all with unmatched customer service. Why go anywhere else? Just minutes from downtown Montreal. Playground across from the Mercier Bridge. Playground, your top destination for fun. Speaking of which, yesterday I celebrated my 23-year wedding anniversary and thought that it would be a great time to go out on Saturday night. And so on Saturday night, I went out. And before I went out, I asked the missus, I said, listen, I'm taking you out for our anniversary. Where would you like to go? And this is a true story. And my wife said, why don't we go to the Etc. restaurant, the Etc. Steakhouse inside Playground? And I said, okay, why do you want to go there? She said, well, A, I heard good things, very good things, but B, because we had never been before, she said, Tony, because there's just going to be so much to do there. There will never be a dull moment. After supper, we'll take a seat. We'll take a look at the live entertainment. We'll listen. We'll have fun. We'll enjoy. We'll be in a festive mood. We'll have a beverage. And then we'll go, play the slots or roulette or whatever. And that's exactly what we did. And we had a great time. She had the New York strip, 12 ounce. I had the filet mignon, 8 ounce. My son, who followed along and tagged along, had the ribeye. And among other things, it was just fantastic. The food was great. The attention to detail, we absolutely loved it. So I highly, highly recommend, like I recommend all of our sponsors and our partners, like the Geloso Beverage Group and Energy Transportation Group, for all your transport needs throughout North America. I'm telling you, Mike Cinquino, Sean Gerard, David Grassi, Energy Transportation Group. God bless. Love those guys. Without further ado, he's usually a collaborator on Monday nights throughout the hockey season. I know the hockey season hasn't started yet. Mind you, there's a lot to talk about because the rookie camp is around the corner. Gets started on Wednesday. They'll have fitness and medicals. And then on Thursday and Friday, they'll practice in Brossard. And then Saturday and Sunday, they'll play a couple of games at the Bell Center. We bring in Eric Engels from Sportsnet and Sportsnet.ca. Eric, I'm not going to ask you how you are because I know you're doing good. I'm not going to say I haven't seen you in a long time because I actually saw you several hours ago. You and I were both invited to basically the launch of the documentary on the Montreal Canadiens called The Rebuild, La Reconstruction en français, which will be shown on Crave on the 18th of September. And we had a chance to watch episode number 1 earlier today and some other highlights of the documentary. Jeff Molson was on hand, Alex Newhook, Jaden Struble, among others. France Margaret was also on hand. It was nice to see our buddy Stu Cowan was there. I had a chance to see Andy Bennett, who I haven't seen in a long time. It was real nice to see her as well. What a good time, huh?
Yeah, it was a good time. I'm thinking Canadiens fans are going to devour that, especially looking at how they're dissecting every single second that Ivan Demidov spends on the ice all the way across the ocean. I think they're going to be pretty excited to turn on their TVs and just watch a behind-the-scenes doc about this rebuild that's going on, and the I guess you'd call it the second phase, because it really started with last training camp, and I won't be surprised if there's another season of this coming, because I think it's going to take on. I think it's going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, and I think so too. It was extremely well done, and Canadiens fans are going to devour it the way you devoured the hot dogs and I devoured the chicken wings.
Yeah.
And I had the cannoli too. That's why I'm gaining weight. You're not. You stayed.
Well, I was surprised you grabbed the cannolis. I mean, they were pre-filled. It's very un-Italian of you to eat that.
Yeah, I understand. Sometimes you just you do things. All right, okay. Look, there's a lot we can talk about, but Alex Newhook, you had a chance to ask him a couple of questions, and I think one of which was the playoffs. Like, what makes you optimistic that this could be the year? Let's hear from Alex Newhook.
Pick a reason why you think your team could be successful, make the playoffs your goal. What would it be?
I think we're a fast team. I think another year experience is always huge. I think being a lot of those tight games last year, I don't know if we led the league in 1-goal games or whatever it was, but being able to find our way on a lot of those games on the winning side is something I think we're going to have to look to do this year in order to make playoffs, in order to get in a place where we're challenging for that. So I think just another year of experience as well as growth is huge and puts us in a good spot.
It looks like a lot of the focus.
All right, okay. The playoffs. He answered about their speed, about their youth, about the mix of youth and experience that they have. What did you make of his answer? And then we'll discuss the real possibility of making the playoffs right after that.
Not a whole lot. I mean, I just wanted to hear what one of the players is going to say about this, right? Like, we've got the management tagline. The owner will say the same thing. It's, we want to be in the mix.
Correct.
I want to hear the players say we're going to make the playoffs. I want to hear the players speak confidently about that and with excitement. I think, the fans deserve that, but I think there's we've reached a different phase of this where that pressure needs to be there on the team for it to exceed to the next level. Sometimes pressure's a good thing. Whether it's realistic in some person's eyes or another's, it doesn't really matter. It's about what these guys believe. And I say not much when I talk about his answer, because it's, no matter what anybody says in answering that question, it won't matter as much as what happens on the ice, right? So he could have said we're a really tight group. He ended up saying we're a fast group, and, we were in all those 1-goal games last year. And if we turn a number of them around, goaltending was probably the biggest factor in that, right? Last year, all those 1-goal games. I said to you already, I think the goaltending needs to be at least on par from what it was last season, if not better. If it takes a step down in any way, that could spell real trouble. I think we all know health is the ultimate determinant. I was speaking with Jeff Molson. That was the first thing he brought up. And let's face it, that's the ultimate determinant for 32 teams, not just the Montreal Canadiens. So I can't wait to see what they deliver on the ice. But as we speak to more and more of these players, as the golf tournament rolls around, as everybody gets together and gets excited about things, I want to hear some kind of confident proclamations from the players themselves, because management, ownership, coaching staff, they all have their line. We want to be in the mix. We believe we can be in the mix. I want the players to set the bar higher and not be afraid of what comes at them in doing that. You know what I mean? I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And look, I think that's what you're gonna. I think you're gonna hear a lot of players saying, we're gonna be in the mix. We're gonna be there right until the end, fighting for a playoff spot, and I think that's realistic. I really do. It might be in a big jump. I brought this up before, but I think that if the goal could be 1 win per month, and maybe because April is half a season, you end up picking up 1 point instead of 2. If you jump 13 points, you'll then go from 76 to 89 based on that formula. Okay. 89 is not going to get you into the playoffs. 96 probably will. but 89 will have you in the mix. It might not come down to the last weekend of the regular season, but it might have you in the mix until 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left of the regular season.
Yeah, but I also think we know that all these players are driving for more than that. And I know that the company line is in the mix, but I don't think the players should be afraid of saying what they actually feel, because I know in speaking to them, they feel they have a team that's good enough to make the playoffs. And I think some of them are going to say that out loud, and I expect that they will. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. We go back a year, Joel Edmondson was talking about playoffs then, and kind of people were snickering about that. Now, for a player to say it, I don't think anybody's going to be laughing at the notion. There may be people outside Montreal. There may be fans of other teams. But I think this team has reason to believe that they can take that step. And if they don't believe it, nobody else will. Whether or not they believe it, that's whether or not everybody else will believe that they believe it, that's one thing. But they have to believe, and they have to express that belief, and that is their goal coming in. And for those guys, for the Nick Suzuki's and Cole Caulfields and Kirby Docks and Brendan Gallagher's and Josh Anderson, they don't want to just be in the mix. I'm sorry. That's not going to be good enough for those guys, and I don't think there's any harm in them stating it outright. I think that can only do good for them, actually.
You talked to Newhook about the possibility of playing on a line with Doc and Liney. Listen to this.
A lot of people are circling your name next to Patrick Laine and Kirby Doc on the line. What excites you about that potential opportunity if it should arise?
Yeah, like you said, who knows what the line combinations will be come opening day, but I think adding Patty to our top six is a huge add. He's obviously a very proven player in this NHL. Scored a lot of goals. He's produced at amongst the highest level in the league. So adding him to a group that I think really enjoy being a part of this group, a younger group that's eager and excited, seems like a great place to slot him in. So it'd be great to play with him. It'd be great just to be alongside him here on the team. But exciting for sure.
Were you surprised?
You can't blame the guy, but talking to Americ, and then I asked him a question, and I said, in the eventuality that you are the winger on that line, how do you guys complement each other? So he talked about his speed and his defensive awareness and the fact that he can come help out on face-offs. And then he talked about the fact that, Kirby and Patrick are just so big and so strong and so talented and could score goals. But then he said, look, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because, I don't want to talk about that just yet, because obviously it's a position that everyone's striving for it, right? You could tell, and you can't blame him, but you could just tell, man, he would be really happy with that. Eh?
How could he not be, right? And not just about Laine, which everybody's excited about as far as the Canadiens are concerned, the players themselves, to play with Doc. What Doc can do in terms of the way he drives his line, and they got some reps together in training camp last year, and it looked like it could be a good combo. Alex Newhook is not a guy that's taking up a lot of oxygen in this room in terms of the conversation outside of the Canadiens room, right? There's not everybody talking about Newhook other than the fact that he's a logical fit because Christian Dvorak's still with the team, and you put him in pen as a left-handed center, with three other right-handed centers up the middle. That pushes Newhook to the wing and most likely in the top six because, where's he going to play otherwise? But it's interesting that he was there and Jaden Struble were there because they're two guys that are not getting enough attention. And I say that because I look at Newhook last year, his first year with the Canadiens, really his first year getting the type of personalized coaching that a guy like Marty St. Louis could offer that wasn't going to get in Colorado with the situation the team was in, right? The Avalanche were pushing for Stanley Cups. He won the Stanley Cup with them. He was a young player. He wasn't, his development wasn't in primary focus. There were other things that were much more important than Alex Newhook's development in Colorado. And last year, he set career highs in goals and assists in 30 less games than he had previously. And he showed there were points of the season where he really was coming on, and you could see that the speed and the skills and the competitiveness and also the details that he learned as a player in Colorado as he started to hone in on that stuff in Montreal could kind of bring him to another place. And if he can take another step, if he can build on what he did last year, which I thought was very positive outside of the injuries, that's a player that a lot of people have underestimated that really could be a top six player.
He's he does a lot of things. He does a lot of things on the ice, and we talked about it, the face-offs. We talked about, he could be there to support Doc, who obviously will probably start at center. But, Doc has struggled with face-offs from time to time, so he could be there to support him, take some key face-offs for him. He's a left-handed shot to complement two right-handed shooters that would be on that line. He has a lot of speed. He's got defensive awareness. He has the speed to track back. I mean, last year, I don't remember the game, but there was one back check from Alex Newhook that I think was the best back check that I saw of any Montreal Canadian all of last year. He literally went from like his own zone or just inside his just inside the offensive blue line all the way back and was able to knock the puck away from a player who was within about 12, 15 feet from the goal and had like a real good scoring opportunity. It was an incredible back check, really. So he can complement the line for sure. There's so many players we can bring up. Like if we bring up Armia or we bring up Anderson, for example, they have the size to make it an even bigger line. They can protect the puck to make it a great puck possession line. They can win battles along the boards and make it a kind of like a cycle line and a puck dominant line. But that would be three right-handed shots for Armia or Anderson. It's an advantage that Newhook has in being a lefty, being with those two righties, even though we've seen three righties play before. It's not very common. But I think if he's the top six, everyone talks about breakout player. It could be Alex Newhook's best productive year of his career.
Look, I think we all knew that he had speed and he had skill. He was coming with that pedigree as a first-round draft pick from a Colorado Avalanche team that was pretty good at picking players and came over to Montreal with a different opportunity. What he showed is that he's very competitive, he's feisty, and he has details in his game that you would have thought he really needed to learn coming here. That all checks out well for him. I personally think, Anderson, Armia, those are two guys. There's going to be a rotation through that top six, but the opportunity, and to me, if everybody's healthy, it's a two-horse race to start. It's a two-horse race to start between Alex Newhook and Joshua Roy. And I think Alex Newhook has the upper hand in that race to start off with. That's the thing about these situations is you want to see how they perform under that type of pressure. When it's your job to lose versus your job to win, how do you respond? Like I look at a guy like Justin Barron a year ago. He had a job, like it was his job to lose on the blue line with the Canadiens to start the season, and he almost lost it. There's a different type of pressure that comes with that. We'll see how Newhook deals with it because right now he's the leading horse for that job.
Yeah, the name of Joshua Roy is an interesting one because everyone knows that he has a lot of talent and he has the ability, but that second line is going to end up logging a lot of minutes, right? So, if that second line ends up but if that second line, Joshua Roy proved to everyone at the World Juniors that he was a much better two-way player and a much better defensive player than a lot of people gave him credit for. But I think Newhook would provide a little bit more of a security blanket for Marty St. Louis, and obviously, I think he's the one who has the best chance to start on the second line.
It's his job to lose, right? Let's see what he does with it. I mean, we're saying that.
You're right. It's his job to lose. You're right.
We'll see how Marty St. Louis feels about it. I'll tell you this about Joshua Roy. To me, I see one of the most efficient players on the Canadiens, and that's really something to say about somebody his age. He's a young player in this league. He has barely any experience at the pro level, and his efficiency on the ice is exceptional. And I hope he spent the summer working. What the deficiency is in his game. It's skating. Can he get his skating up? He'll never be the best skater in the league or on the Canadiens, but can he get it up to a level that makes him that much more dependable in that type of role, that makes him that much more of a challenger to a guy like Alex Newhook in this race? But I really see it as a two-horse race, and with Newhook getting a healthy lead.
Consistency would also be another issue that he's going to have to work on, obviously, and the ability to produce points at the NHL level on a top two line. We all know that what he did in junior hockey in his final year with Le Phoenix de Sherbrooke was absolutely unbelievable. 51 goals, 68 assists, 119 points in 66 games. He had picked up 23 points in 11 playoff games, but we know that it's very difficult for those points to translate at the National Hockey League level. That was actually his second last season, because the last season with Le Phoenix, he had 99 points in 55 games. Pretty amazing. 24 points in 14 playoff games. his last couple of years, this guy was able to put up big-time points in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Can he pick up points? And another thing we have to ask ourselves is, if Roy is not a top 6, right, how good will he be in a top 9, right? It all depends on, I guess.
I think he'll be really good. Honestly, I don't think it's a question. I think he'll be really good. I think he's extremely efficient. I think the better players he plays with, the better he performs. And his hockey sense is elite. He has really unbelievable hockey sense. The question for me is, does he have a way to, there are plenty of players in the league that have deficient skating strides that have found a way to be the best versions of themselves. If you want a primary example, look at Mark Stone. I'm not saying Joshua Roy is Mark Stone. Let's not turn that into a clip.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there are ways. Claude Giroux is another example. Elite hockey sense, elite point producing ability, efficiency. These are things that this guy has in his toolkit, and I think they will translate at this level, and they already have, even in a very short sample. Whether he was playing with Yoel Armia and Sean Monahan, or he was playing with Newhook at one point, Dvorak at one point, you put him with better players, and we saw it at the World Juniors with Connor Bedard and Logan Stankoven. Like this kid, he has the ability to play with players like that, and he has the heart to play at both ends of the ice and do the things that are asked of him. He's really impressed me with his attitude, with the way he's matured, with the way he's taken the instructions the Canadians have given him as far as his development, his personal development plan is concerned. The only guy standing in the way of Joshua Roy blowing off the doors in the NHL is Joshua Roy. So it's up to him. But I really believe that he could do it.
A shout out, of course, to Accent Insurance. All insurance isn't created equal, and you know where to find the right solution for you at Accent Insurance. Accent doesn't sell insurance. They shop insurance for you to find the right product right on the money, whatever your insurance needs, home, automobile, or business. It was really nice to see Jaden Struble earlier today, of course, as well. And Struble told me that he put on weight and he put on muscle, and you can tell, I mean, he's thicker than he was a year ago. He's bigger than he was a year ago. And I asked him, and from an individual standpoint, right, what do you want to accomplish? What would be a great season for you? And he said something that really caught my attention. He said, well, I'd want to play like the first couple of games when I arrived. Solid, simple, safe, efficient. And I didn't get a chance to ask too many more, but my question to you is, Struble went out of his way to talk about his first couple of games with the Canadiens as the ones that he liked the most. What did you see after those first couple of games?
I saw a player that made it almost impossible for the Canadiens to take him out of the lineup because he was so steady. His floor was there. It's the stuff that you don't expect from young players coming into the NHL, especially at the defense position, that they will be so reliable defensively that they won't let it slip, that they are efficient. That's not to overuse the word, but that's what we saw in those couple games, right? Like, not taking too many steps to get to where he needed to go, anticipating well, having a good idea of where he's going to move the puck to when he gets it, being physical, being strong. Every time I look at Jaden Struble, I always think of that Rocky IV clip where, Drago's beating up on Rocky, and Rocky's just taking the beating of a lifetime and come back for more. And he goes to his corner, and the guy looks at him, and he's like, oh, what's the story? And he's like a piece of iron. Like, Jaden Struble, underestimate him at your own peril if you're an opposing player. If you think you could pick on him or you want to get into a fight with him or whatever it is, this guy is a beast. He's strong. He, like any other young player, would need to establish a version of consistency that would make it impossible for the Canadiens to leave him out of the lineup. And I'll tell you, he knows the competition that is in front of him. He talked to me about being excited about even watching rookie camp and looking at the kids that are coming up and how exciting it is, some of the prospects. But in his mind, I could see the wheels turning behind the eyes that, like, I'm going to go and show everybody that these guys aren't just running and taking my job. Like, I think he's he beat out a couple of guys already in the competition, in Kovacevic and Harris. He brings an element that outside of Arbor Jackeye is more and is not really available to the Canadiens. And also, more and more valuable as you look across the league, right? In terms of the types of players people want on their third pairing. He's going to be a guy that is not getting a lot of attention in this race, and I wouldn't count him out.
It's funny because the part that you remember most out of Rocky IV is the one where Drago says to his trainer that Rocky is like a piece of iron. One of the parts that I remember the most is when Rocky comes back to his corner after round one and says, what's going on? He's winning. I see 3 of them out there. Hit the one in the middle, Paulie says.
Rocky,
that's right. Hit the one in the middle.
3. That's Rocky 3. That's Rocky 3.
Is that Rocky 3?
Yeah, I've only seen the movies 8,000 times, so.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, Apollo's his trainer in that one. He's telling Apollo. Anyways,
No,
we can't relitigate the entire Rocky series.
I think you're wrong.
No, I'm definitely not.
You know what? I don't want to insist. I think you're wrong.
No, hit the one in the middle. Hit the one in the middle is Rocky 3 when Apollo is coaching Rocky. He's in his corner. It's Rocky, Paulie, and Apollo having that conversation. You can't test my Rocky knowledge here. I'm telling you.
Oh, jeez. Now, like I'm
the Italian stallion, and you're getting it wrong. I can't believe this, Tony. Come on.
Wow. I'm still thinking.
Hit the one in the middle.
They're in Russia. He takes a beating round one, and he says, "What's happening?" He's winning. I see 3 of them out there, and he says, and Paulie says, "Hit the one in the middle," and his trainer says, "Yeah, right, hit the one in the middle." And then he comes back after round 2, where he cuts him open, and he comes back, and you see, you hurt him, you hit him. You see, he's not a machine. He's a man. Okay, should I move on now? Because I'm still insisting that I'm right.
You're off. It's not.
I'm wrong.
Hit the one in the middle of Rocky 3. I'm looking it up now because I just
Hey, you know what? I hate to say put $1 on it, but if you want to put $1 on it, I'm ready to put $1 on it.
What do you mean $1?
Yeah, you know what? We'll ask Sammy Daniello at Master Control, where he says he's winning. I see 3 of them out there, and Paulie says hit the one in the middle. I say it's Rocky 4. Eric says it's Rocky 3.
Oh, shit. I think you're
I'm the biggest Rocky guru.
Oh my God!
I
think
Eric
you're right.
He's watched it like 8 times. Of
I think
course,
you're right.
I'm right. He's the Italian stallion, Rocky Balboa.
Hold on, now I'm going crazy.
Eric, it's definitely Rocky 4. I don't want to make you look bad or sound better, but I am the Rocky expert of the world. No one has watched Rocky more than me. No one, not even Rocky himself. No one. Okay, while you continue to look it up. Eric, give me the victory. I'm right. Trust me.
Shit. I can't believe I'm wrong on this.
I told you.
I'm like recanting everything I just said.
Are you kidding me or what?
I can't believe it.
I love that guy so much. I used to chase chickens.
You know what? I've seen the movies too many
times. And the first time I caught one, I lifted it in the air the same way.
My memory's slipping now. I'm like,
I ran to Newman Park once.
You can go take a cognitive test. I'm worried now.
I ran to Newman Park once, hoping that a bunch of kids from the streets of LaSalle would follow me, and I would run up the hill, but no one followed. Yeah. I also once in my run jumped a park bench, but it's the last time I ever did it because I tripped and I chipped my tooth. All right, okay.
Jesus Christ.
Rocky 4, Eric. Rocky 4. Stick with me, son. Stick with me. All right, okay. I'm never going to make you live that one down, by the way. Never, ever. Jaden Struble. So he was talking about how
he's like a piece of iron, Jaden Struble.
He definitely is. He was talking about how tough it was to see Kovacevic and Jordan Harris get traded, but then again talked about how excited he was at the acquisition of Patrick Laine. But Stu Cowan asked him, "So it must have been great for your confidence, though, right?" And he says, "Yeah." And then he added, "Like I never want to get traded. Like getting traded is the tough part of the business. I never want to get traded. I love Montreal." And Alex Newhook added this whole thing of players don't want to come to Montreal. Off a question from Mark Defoe, who said, "You know what, Laine wanted to come to Montreal." Alex Newhook says, "I think that whole thing is a myth that players don't want to come to Montreal." He goes, "Everyone I talk to wants to come to Montreal." He goes, "I'm in Montreal and I love Montreal." It's good.
Hopefully you hear more and more of that as you go on, right? Because the Canadiens are eventually going to open up their wallets to get some players in here via free agency. And that's what they want to hear. Kent Hughes is pretty confident about it, right? Having represented players for a long time, said,
yeah,
you take a healthy situation and an opportunity and the chance to win, and that's the combination. And that's why, look, you look ahead to the following summer, right? I know a lot of people are looking ahead to the following summer with the Canadiens and saying, okay, like this is the year they're going to go out big into the market, make a huge splash and this and that. I'm not convinced of that. Like, I think your greatest asset in free agency is being able to convince people that you can win. And I don't know if the Canadiens are going to be there in 1 year from now. I also don't know if the players are going to be available that they would want to go all in on when it comes to that. The good news for them is the way they've drafted, the way they're developing, and the players they've acquired via trade start to lessen the needs to go out and spend huge money in free agency versus fill in different depth, veteran experience, and good talent. We'll see where it all goes. But, as this project moves along, I think the Canadiens are going to have a better chance to attract talent. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm so distracted. I'm like, I've never been more disappointed in myself about this Rocky 3, Rocky 4 thing.
You never really had a chance when it came to Rocky against me, Eric, but that's okay. Don't feel bad about it.
You, Tony, I know every line in every movie. It's just all blending together.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, I noticed that. All right, okay. I'm looking at my phone right now because I took down some notes while the documentary was going on of a few things that stood out to me.
Nobody likes a spoiler. Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it. No, I'm not going to give away the whole thing. But is there one thing, just put it this way, is there one thing that caught your attention with all the footage that we saw?
You know what? I'll say it without spoiling a single thing about it. It's the harmony of the organization. It's the way, and this is, was a focus when I sat down with Jeff Gordon 2 years ago and a year after that, and talking about how he was brought in not only to rebuild the product on the ice, but really the organization off the ice and kind of get rid of this siloed approach and bring everybody together. And just what you get even in one episode of this thing, which is about the rebuild, is about the whole organization and about how you've got the harmonization of these different departments. And if you have that approach, you really give yourself a chance at success in every department. If everybody is working on their own page, you're making that challenge a lot more difficult. It's already difficult enough, right? So that's what I got from it.
I don't want to give anything away. I'll just say this. There's a moment where they show the Canadiens going to the Stanley Cup final in 2021. And, of course, they lose out to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And in 2022, their first 20 games, they're off to a real bad start. And Carey Price and Shea Weber are out with, the long-term injuries, of course. And they show the Canadiens where they are in the standings. And Jeff Molson says, it's at that point that I really started to think that we need to go the way of a rebuild. I bring it up because a lot of people were like, hold on a second. Was it Jeff Molson was thinking of a change, and then he talked to Jeff Gordon, and Jeff Gordon presented the rebuild? How did it all come about? And Jeff Molson says that it was around the 20-game mark, and then thereafter of the 21-22 season where he started to really think about the rebuild. And then, of course, you bring in Gordon, he brings in Hughes, they bring in Marty St. Louis, and here's, and the rest, as they say, is history. I really enjoyed it. Folks, once again, it comes out, I believe, on September 18th on Crave. I think you're really going to enjoy it. We saw episode number 1. Eric and I did earlier today. I thought it was riveting. I thought it was interesting. I wish more teams would do it. I wish we would see more of it. It brings you, basically behind the scenes where every fan wants to go to see what's said, to see what the reactions are, to see what's going on, to see the everyday. And like Eric said, I believe it's going to be so popular that this is going to be one of, I don't know if it's going to be several or many. It all depends on where they want to stop. But no matter how many they decide to do, I think there's going to be an audience for it, and there's going to be a desire for it. I thought it was really, really good. So I look forward to watching it. Really do. Eric?
I think you liked it. I think you liked it because you were so prominently featured in it.
I was in a couple of scenes, but
I was playing it. There's a lot of Tony Marinaro in there.
Look, it's an honor. Let's be honest here. It's the Montreal Canadiens. Even if you get to say one word in it, it's an honor. So I thank the people with the production company that actually thought of me. It was an honor for me, another feather in my cap, and I thank them very much. And I thank you for the kind words. Montreal Canadiens rookie camp starting Wednesday, of course, in Brossard, medicals and physicals. Then on the ice Thursday and Friday, and then they'll be playing a couple of games on Saturday and Sunday. Are you going to get out to one of the days, or are you going to get out to one of the games?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be at both games. I'm going to get to rookie camp and we're winding up the coverage. We're starting.
Yeah,
I don't want to blow it all too soon, right? Like a training camp is 6 months long, so I don't want
I hear you. Yeah, I'm going to be in studio at ABM Sports, so I won't be able to be at the practices on Thursday or Friday at the rookie camp, but I definitely will be able to get out to at least one of the games, I think. It's going to be a busy weekend. Of course, NFL Sunday, CF Montreal on Saturday night, but I'll try and get out to a game for sure. Eric, great talking to you. Thanks for doing this, my man, as always.
Okay, next time I come on, we do. I need to redeem myself, so we do like a Rocky quiz. Have Agnello prepare it.
You know what? We'll do Tragically Hip. This way you'll win. Don't do Rocky. You're going to lose every time. No, trust me.
Dude, I lost today, man. I dropped the ball. I'm like, really? I'm not going to sleep tonight.
There's one thing I want you to do for me.
Yeah.
Come here. Win. What are we waiting for? Take it. Gotta go, Eric. Talk to you soon, my man.
Yeah, bud.
From the fighting city of Philadelphia, the Italian stallion, Rocky Balboa. Thanks for watching the Sick Podcast. Special thanks to Energy Transportation Group, to Bittt, Tibi, to Playground, and Accent Insurance Solutions, for Agnello and Sammy and Master Control. Thanks for watching, everyone. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple. It's our way of feeling the love. Sick Podcast. I'm Tony Rocky Balboa Marinaro. Ciao for now.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different. Bittt, embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination.